Namaste and welcome to your seated postures. We're going to begin just by having a seat, your hamstrings attached at the sitting bones. You want to use a blanket, especially if the hips are tight, so you want to get your knees below your hip points. It's okay if they're up high, but this gives you a little bit of leverage to relax that back. So find a good seated pose that's comfortable for you. Roll the shoulders up, inhale back, exhale down. About 3 times, and then reverse. Inhale, exhale. And then alternate, letting your rib cage move. Release tension out of the back. And let your ribs circle forward, side and back. Just warming up the spine and getting in touch with your breathing. And so pranayama it means mindful breath. And pranayama is really the most important part, foundation of yoga. And you want to just try to let the breath breathe itself, but there are some techniques I'd like to introduce you to, and one is called the square breath. And it's square because you're inhaling to the count of 3. You pause, holding the breath, or what's called a retention. And then you drop as you exhale 3 counts. And then you pause at the bottom. So it actually helps you become aware of the initiation of your breath, which is really important because most of us are shallow breathing and not thinking about it. So we want to think about our breathing. We want to make it a conscious, mindful breath, sending energy into the body, or prana into your body. So imagine that you're breathing energy in the form of light. You can close your eyes or keep your eyes open, counting to 3, inhaling. 1, 1,000, inhale 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, pause for a moment, lengthen, exhale 3, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 1, 1,000, and pause. Repeating, inhale. Feel the rib cage expand, hold, extend, exhale. Pause, wait for the initiation of breath. Inhale. Open the chest, pause, good, and exhale. Relax that tongue on the roof of the mouth. Once the air is out, pause and relax. Inhale, square breath. Pause, exhale. Pause and inhale. Pause, exhale. Now finish that exercise with just allowing the breath to breathe itself. And notice what happens. Do you have more expansion? Do you feel more relaxed? Okay, so that's the point of doing the exercises without movement, is just focusing on the breath. But of course, we're going to begin to move and breathe together. So open up the chest, inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, open the chest. Bringing the hands behind the back, just leaning slightly back, opening the chest, little back bend. Now we don't want to overextend the neck because notice what happens to my voice. I can't talk. I want to be able to breathe. So you want to bring the chin in and go back as you open the heart. And then coming forward, now some of you at some point will be off the blanket as you fold forward. You want to keep a flat spine as best as possible. If the hips are really tight and you're up here, then you can reach through the legs like so. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the hip and the glute. And then we'll switch the ankles around and repeat the back bend, shoulders down the back, open the heart. Keep that chin in as you lift the heart, breathe. Enjoy the movement as you fold forward. Now some of you might be able to go deeper and get your elbows down. The idea is really to keep the heart open so we're not rounding in the back and shortening. So you want to really lengthen. Some of you might even go further into the stretch, into a nice forward fold. Just know that it's a gradual process. Inhale, relax into the breath. Focus on the muscle group. And exhale. And come on up. And coming back to your seated pose. You want to do a little gentle spinal twist. You support the pose by putting the hand behind your back and opening the chest. As you do this, you want to lift and lengthen and push through on the exhale. As you inhale, yield the pose just a little bit, not all the way, and then exhale deeper. So by the third time as you inhale and exhale, you're rotating all the way around. You want to avoid pulling and wrenching the lower back. You want to just stay nice and tall. Really, the twist is happening in your rib cage. Okay, so other side, same thing. Inhale, exhale, push through. Yield, inhale, exhale, lengthen, push through. Inhale, last time, go to the apex of your flexibility. And coming back to center, seated spinal twist. The next series is going to be coming off of your blanket. Taking a strap if you need it. The right foot is resting on the inner thigh. You're going to lift tall up through and open the chest. As you exhale, come through and just put that strap around the sole of your foot. You're going to bend the knee ever so slightly to protect that cruciate ligament. So you don't want to overstretch the back of your knee. What creates the hamstring stretch is really the placement of your torso. So reach your rib cage to meet the top of your thigh. Granted, if you're a beginner, that's not going to happen right away, so that's why you have your strap. And you want to pull the chest through and breathe. Gently allowing your body to relax with each breath. Know when you need to push, know when you need to yield. As you come forward, you know, some of you might get your hand to your foot. It's not important, just as long as you're feeling the stretch. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Eventually, the apex of this pose is head to knee pose, pointing through the foot, and that's okay to round the spine at that point. Enjoy the stretch. Good, and release. Again, we begin when we begin. I mean, you can only start from where your body is today. Your hamstrings might be really tight and saying, ow, I don't like this, but go ahead and breathe through it and find a little bit of a push as you release through. It's better to be warm and open that chest. Low ribs, lift and lengthen. Flexing that foot. Try not to sickle the ankle. Middle toe, shin in alignment. The knee's going to be soft. As you fold forward, you'll feel the stretch across your back. Keep the heart open. The very end is when you round and fold. But people tend to want to go right to here and go, ooh, it's not a competition. Stay with it. Breathe, allow, process, exhale. Finally, at the end, you point the foot and drop the head to knee. Continue breathing. Good. And release. Now, if that is a difficult position for you because of back pain, we're going to do a leg series on the back so you'll be supported. We're just going to do one more pose before we go. There are two more poses. Just opening inner thighs. Again, if the knees are up high, you know, that's perfectly fine. You just want to support your back and press. Stretching your inner thighs and supporting. Open that heart and find your breath. Inhale and exhale. Release. Extend your legs. Walk on your sitting bones. Notice they're pretty stout bones. That's where your hamstrings attach. So you want to feel and be aware of that position and lift up. Pilates a lot of times focuses on this position here. Okay, we're going to go into what's called the fish pose, bending your knees. You want to press your hands flat. You want to get where there's a perpendicular angle from shoulder to elbow. You don't want to be here. Okay, you want to be lifted, walking the shoulders as far back as possible. Extend your knees. Reach through and feel the inner thighs. Feel your core. Point the feet, flex the feet. Just don't cramp, you know, release those feet. And then reach through. Lifting the heart. So in beginners, we don't want to extend the neck too much here, so you can just stay looking forward and do 3 slow, deep breaths. Eventually, the apex of the pose, you might actually sit on the hands and really press through, lift back, and extend. Chest openers are great for all the shoulder tension we carry around. So release that position, and we'll get on to our backs for our strap series. This is a great series for runners as well. They tend to have really tight legs, hamstrings, inner thigh. If you have lower back pain, think about it. If it's tight here, tight here, tight here, tight here, then no wonder the back is hurting. So we want to change that in a gentle way, so that's why we lay on the ground and use our straps. Now you don't want to lock in the back of the knee. You want to keep the knee soft. You want the foot over your hip. As you relax into the stretch, we're going to do a bend and flex. And then as you extend through, you want to extend. Now granted, you might feel a little shakiness in the hamstring, but you want to extend through without kicking the leg out. Okay, when that leg is out here, you're not getting the stretch. So you're here. Bend and flex, extend. Now offer with the strap, without too much intensity, a little resistance. Hold for 10 seconds, push. It's called a PNF stretch. You're actually contracting those fibers, and then when you release the contraction, then it's gonna stretch deeper and longer. And that's what we want. It's really to release those hamstrings. You can stay here as long as you want, but the apex of this pose is head to knee with the chest lifted. The only reason I'm lifting up is to look at you. So please just stay with your back relaxed. From this position, you're gonna externally rotate from the hip. Okay, we don't wanna go off to the side and let this hip roll up. You wanna stay grounded and lengthen through the front. Diagonally over, open the other arm out. As you lift, you can hold that longer, but we're gonna keep moving through the series. IT band stretch. All the way down, so people tend to sickle that ankle. Lift the pinky side of the foot and press through. Again, you're not locking the knee, but you try to find where you feel that band. It'll feel like a burning sensation. And then you'll gently come across, across, across. If you take up to 60 seconds, you can really create change. I actually healed a knee injury by doing this IT band stretch regularly. And you'll just finish in a spinal twist, opening the head in the opposite direction. Relax and breathe. Coming back onto your back. Another good stretch for the hip rotators and for lower back is called prep pigeon. So you're gonna go from that position in your working leg. You wanna get the ankle past the thigh bone. You don't wanna be sickling that ankle. Come across, thread the needle through the hole and press. You can also release this hand and push and add some leverage. If you have sciatica, this is a great stretch. I call this prep pigeon pose. Good, and release. Now that working leg, you just want to shake it out, extend your legs, and just observe for a moment what you're feeling and breathe. Do you feel more energy? Do you feel tingling? What do you notice? Okay, so other side, hamstring stretch. Stay supported in the lower back. Extend the non-working leg, bend and flex. And extend through. Not to a locked knee, but to a semi-straight knee. Bend so that thigh meets the low rib and extend. Breathe. Inhale and exhale. Keep imagining that foot coming further and further towards your head as you bend. That foot stays on top of your hip. And then offer that resistance for about 10 seconds. Gently contracting with a semi-soft knee. 5 more seconds. And then notice what happens as you relax. You should be able to move a little deeper and then into the apex of the pose. From this position, you're going to rotate the leg and do inner thigh stretch. Again, we don't want to roll off. We want to stay stable in this side, reaching energy through the non-working leg. And breathing. Good, feels good. So come on up. Rotate that leg, flex that foot, and start to come across the body. Take your time here. Watch a clock. 60 seconds is a long time. You want to keep reaching through and following the breath. Notice the body yielding into the pose. Again, avoid the leg kicking out too far. You want to keep it up and in as you come across. And the hip does come off at this point, and you can soften your knee and head opposite direction. Inhale and exhale as you release. Again, prep pigeon on this side, crossing the ankle over, pulling through. It's important, this angle here in the hip, because you want to get those rotators, and really you can add and press through. If you feel like you're needing more support, like this is hard to hold, this foot can rest on a piece of furniture or up against the wall. Not everybody has this turnout. Okay, so just do what you can with this posture. Inhale and exhale. And release. So just a little bit more with crisscrossing the body. Take your hands on the elbows and just unwind the movement, rocking the knees side to side. Head is going to follow the elbows. You can do this slow, you can do this fast, you can pause and really stretch the elbow across. Feel free to do that on your own, just holding that posture a little bit longer. You don't want the hands up here, you want them in front of your chest, so you're getting a nice stretch in the shoulder. As you come back through, we're gonna end in what's called easy pose, soles of the feet together. Now, if that's not easy, then you roll a blanket or pillows on either side and support this pose. This is a gentle restorative posture for beginners. Arms are going to come over the head, clasping the elbows. Relax tension and just breathe. Notice what you notice about the warm-up and how you feel. Inhale and exhale. Relax the arms.